You said something earlier about you're fascinated with that process from initial announcement to kicking a ball. To me, the kicking of the ball is not relevant.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
relevant is when you open the gates, right?
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
building a soccer team is easy. There are millions of soccer players and thousands of coaches and thousands of physical therapists and goalkeeper coaches, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not saying it's easy to win, right? And you've got budget constraints, and what those people do is amazing. I could never do it. The soccer on the field is not the product. The product is the experience that a fan has at the stadium and
Yeah.
on social and in their email and at a watch party. That's the product you're selling. What you're selling is this badge, not the name on the back. And so your product is the badge here, not the name on the back. If you think through that lens, right, you will not focus on the soccer so much. You'll focus on what happens when you open the gates and the fans walk in. What's that experience like?
And that is, ironically enough, a piece that, to kind of piggyback what you said a moment ago of like, a lot of teams are starting strong. We're seeing so many success stories. We love to see it. But like longevity, sustainability is the key, right? You look at the MLS, a lot of the teams that are least in touch with their community and seem to least resonate are some of the older
Who do you think
teams.
those are? Who do you think those are?
You're going to
Who are those
maybe
teams?
to
Yeah,
name
put me on the
names.
spot.
I think
Yeah, name names.
in general, like older quote unquote legacy clubs, like some of the originals. You
Name
look
names. Come
around,
on.
a
Like
lot of the
who?
originals.
Who? Name names. Come on.
All right, I'll give you an example. You're
Yeah.
familiar with New England, okay?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
spent probably almost 2 weeks this summer in New England, all over every state except that we did stories in, except for like New Hampshire. I went to New Hampshire. I didn't do any soccer stories there.
Okay.
I talked to probably 24 people. I was at Portland Hearts of Pine. I was at Rhode Island FC. I went to Hartford. I was in Western Massachusetts with the Eusebio
Nice.
statue and the Pioneers. I was all over the place. I was at Bay State games, Fiolens, men's leagues. Not once did the Revs come up when I asked people, what's really happening in soccer in your area right now? Not once did the Revs come up, except to say that the stadium is in an inconvenient location. And yes, they just announced they're going to build closer to Boston, but then some people are saying it's still not going to change it. I think that's an example, right? Where you're looking at a specific place. And if I talk to 20 people in that region and I say, what excites you? What's really in touch with the community in your area? And the biggest well-known break. Now, to be fair, that year, the Revs were still actually third or fourth in the league in average attendance, which I didn't even realize. I was shocked when I saw that. So still
Their
like
attendance has
represents
done
that
very
to the
well.
organization. But why, right? Why is that not coming up? Different but similar. Miami is a story where it's like pre-Messi Inter Miami is basically, to a lot of purists, like not even worth the time. And if they do, it's just to critique and kind of laugh at. Messi comes and it changes the face. But this comes back to our virality, our clicks, our attention. What happens post Messi? Are they going to be able to resonate? So I think those are kind of the questions that I see. And Hearts of Pine, unbelievable experience. Rhode Island, brand new stadium, was awesome. What's year 3 going to look like? Year 5, right? Year 10. How do we sustain that? And I think that's the key. And to your point, it doesn't. There's a piece of it. I think fans want to see that ownership is like making efforts to bring in the best players and the product on the field that they can. But I agree in general, it's more about lines of communication, trying to at least hear and authentically connect with their teams. And the ironic piece of that is that is not a mainstream American sports philosophy at all. That is unique to soccer in America.
It is, yeah. Because look, you're building a club, right? The fans are part of that club. They are the supporters, right? They're supporters. They're not just fans, right? There's a fan and there's a supporter. Those are kind of different things, right? But like Hearts of Pine, great example, right? What they've done is remarkable, right? But also not unexpected based on how they chose to build their club, right? Like they did it the right way.